it foggy outside. All the planes have been grounded. Ain't the fire inside? Let's all go stand around it. Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that beer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sandman podcast. I am your host, Brian W. Tosh, joined as always by our resident hack checker, Oliver Fullington.
Yo.
Our producer and co-host, El Hilo del Hack, Tyler Fullington. And the man whose stories got stories, the hardcore icon. He's got 99 problems, but bananas ain't one. The Sandman Hack.
Dude, I'm bored. It's killing me waiting for the Super Bowl to start.
Wow, but we're there.
I know, but oh my God.
We're there.
I wish it was today.
Well, I do too, but we are there. And the Birds, I know everybody out there, if you like the Chiefs, screw you. We're all Phillied up right now, and we love the Eagles.
What a game.
What a game. What a game. They just absolutely dominated. 7 rushing touchdowns. It was a fantastic team performance, and the Birds are back in the bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I got to put over Ollie here. Before the season, when we did our Super Bowl predictions, our football predictions, not only did Homer Ollie have the Eagles in the bowl, but he had them going up against the Chiefs. So, Ollie, you nailed it, man.
Everybody should be a homer, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a homer, too.
Well, to a certain extent.
We're losing our offensive coordinator, our defensive coordinator. We're coming off the biggest implosion of a good team ever in the history of the NFL the year before. You have no right to think that we're going to the Super Bowl.
Right, and then in the middle of the season, our coach...
Yeah, we do. We got Jalen Hurts, the quarterback.
Yeah, but in the middle of the season, our coach has a nervous breakdown, shaves his head, and the team was in disarray. We had all this drama, and then, well, no, we got Saquon Barkley. The team figured it out. All the drama was just a bunch of noise.
Just like we drew it up, baby.
Just like we drew it up. They were just...
But when we got to this game, I think we were all pretty confident.
We were
going into this game that we were all pretty confident that they would handle business, and
I was more confident against Washington than I was against the Rams.
So was I.
Same.
So was I.
We always we typically record on Thursdays, so like the episodes come out like the day after the Eagles usually play. So I was like, man, I really hope we don't feel stupid after, because we were pretty confident after our last recording.
Yeah, I think I had him like 27-17. I think Ollie was probably more. I think he was like 31-13 or something.
34-17.
I had him double digits too. I mean, I like the Birds a lot in that game against the Commanders. So I mean, look, Commanders obviously great season for them. They're
going to be a problem.
They are, and I loved how they called the game too. The fake punt, like they played going all in football, which is how you have to go.
I literally called the fake punt as soon as they stopped. You can ask Ollie. As soon as it was third down, I said, "Dude, watch the fake right now," because for all intents and purposes, that was the perfect time to run it.
Right.
You know, you're down 2 scores. You can't punt the back and then go back and then give us the ball back and go down 3 scores. Like, I'm sitting there and I was like, God, I fucking knew it. Watch the ball. I was like, watch the ball, watch the fake. I mean, God, if we were sitting here watching, I don't know how they don't get, but I don't know.
It's aggressive play calling, which is like how you have to play to win these games.
Well, wasn't the key Mariota running in off of the sideline?
I don't recall.
Mariota ran in for that play.
Did he?
On the punt?
Right before that, yeah. I thought.
I don't remember that.
No, I don't remember that either. But Daniels, dude, they played well. I mean, that opening drive, 17 play, whatever it was, held them to 3, which was huge.
We scored 8 seconds.
And then the very first play, I was happy, but I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy we scored, but our D's going to be... I was worried that on the second drive, it was going to be like, oh, shit, we're gassed. Our defense is gassed. They're going to come down and score again. But then they caused the turnover. Saquon scores again. And, I mean, the play of the game has got to be the 4th and 5 to A.J. down the sideline, right?
What a throw.
Yeah. Like
what a throw.
I think it was 14-12 us at that point on, like, their 40 or 45-yard line. It's 4th and 5. And I'm not going to lie. I'm sitting there saying we got to punt this ball. But
I was saying that.
Yeah, on 4th and 5. But one-on-one coverage, AJ down the sideline.
But I'm still saying we should have punted the ball.
Yeah, right.
I don't care how it worked
Yeah.
that. We still should have punted that ball, dude.
You're right. I agree. That's just like you can't look at it hindsight. Hey, I'm glad it worked out, but I still would have punted the ball in that situation.
I like the aggressiveness, and Jalen's done enough to win these games. And that play was on. Obviously AJ Brown made the play too, but that pass by Hurts was great. And look, he's playing some high level football again too.
And you can kind of see a little bit Sirianni, not necessarily changing. Yeah, that was aggressive, but he's also trusting his defense. I think a little bit more. You can trust your defense by punting there and kicking them in, and knowing that they're probably not going to drive the whole length of the other field. But you're also trusting your defense that if you put them on a short field, that they can get a stop. And only give up maybe 3 points and maybe not set. So there's different levels to trusting your defense, and I think they've got a really good balance going right now.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with field position also. Our defense gets way better the shorter the field gets. We will give you all those 10-yard underneaths all freaking day.
And we'll give you 3 points because we know you're not going to keep up.
Yeah,
If we're letting up only 3 points.
I'm shocked how good our defense is.
How about Jalen Carter? But also, we all texted in the text, our group text, Jordan Davis with the sack.
Huge sack, monumental sack.
I immediately thought of you.
To shove that right up my rear, dude.
I immediately thought of you, Hack. I was like, yes, Davis, vindication. That was great.
I hate him almost as much as Ben Simmons. It's that close.
Dude,
He's a player. He actually made a play in a big game. He made a play in a championship
Ben
game.
Simmons should be thrown in jail for what he did.
Yeah,
but he also
armed robbery with a ski mask. Ben Simmons.
What Davis does also doesn't show up on the stats.
Yeah, he takes up some space, but he's never double teamed ever. I mean, get a sack.
He just did in the championship game.
How many sacks has he had in the last 10
He's
games?
He's not a pass rusher. He's a run stopper.
He's not a pass rusher since he's been in the NFL, and you still want him to have.
All right, and only if he didn't have Carter fucking 5 feet to his left, getting double and triple teamed, I would agree with you guys. Carter's getting double teamed every single goddamn play. You need to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, but that means everybody should be getting a sack every play, Hack, but they don't. It's not real. It's unrealistic to think that.
I just know if he makes a play in the Super Bowl.
I understand your point. Carter's getting double teamed, so obviously the other guys have to win their one-on-one matchups. But that doesn't it's not like everybody else is just getting sack after sack after sack, and Davis isn't.
Yeah,
it's just unrealistic to think that.
I hope in the Super Bowl he does something fantastic,
I hope we trade him,
and then we get you a Davis jersey.
Let Williams start. I mean, seriously, Williams is just as good as
Williams does start.
Yeah,
I mean, at times it depends.
I don't understand the infatuation.
I love it though; it's great.
Just because he was a first-round pick, Hack just thinks he should be better.
He wasn't picked number 1 in the first round. He was picked 15.
He's okay. He's not a. Would I say it was a hit of a pick? No, it's kind of a miss.
It's his heart to me. I think when Carter comes in, Fred, that a boy that you know, that you played with in college, and he comes in, I thought that would bring
Motivate
Jordan
him
up a level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, Carter just went boom, and Jordan stayed the same.
Okay. Well, the Eagles are playing the Kansas City Chiefs once again. The Chiefs got by the Bills. That was a great game. I mean, a really just last team with the ball is going to win it kind of game. And
it's usually how it is with them.
Dude, just the Bills, man. I feel bad for Buffalo fans, man. It's you just can't get over this hump. And I mean, we might be in the same boat too, going up against this Chiefs machine. They're just an all-time great team.
Yeah, we lose 2 Super Bowls in 3 years.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
That's Heartbreak City too, maybe.
Keeping a lot of quarterbacks from winning Super Bowls.
Yes, they are.
He's pulling a Jordan.
Yeah,
I mean, how many Hall of Famers did Jordan keep away from a title?
A ton. Yeah, a ton.
A shit ton.
I know. How many Hall of Famers are in the AFC right now?
It's a ton. I mean, you look at Burrow, Lamar, Allen.
Allen. Yeah,
those are 3 great quarterbacks.
3 Hall of Fame those quarterbacks are
potentially Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Burrow had a hell of a year too.
And
He's insane.
Burrow's the only one of them to actually beat Patrick in a championship game.
And it was overtime in an AFC Championship game. I think that's. Is that the only? No, that's not the only one. But
he lost to Brady as well.
Yeah, and he lost to Brady is the other one. And the stat I saw, Pacheco hasn't lost a playoff game since he's been in the
crazy
in the NFL. He came in when they won their first Super Bowl in this run. So he's got 2 straight Super Bowls, and now he's there. So he's like, I don't know, like 9-0 in the playoffs right now. Like, he doesn't know what it's like to lose a game.
Their pass rush, man, and their defense is fantastic too. Like their defense is really
Defense
really
is as good as ours.
And Jones, man, I just saw it on the sideline and he was getting emotional, and he was crying, and I'm like, you just won back-to-back Super Bowls, but getting to this third one meant so much to him. And you could tell that they're laser-focused on doing this, trying to do this three-peat that no one has ever done in football
Well,
before.
it was so important that in this, after they won the second Super Bowl, Mahomes is running around on the field telling everybody, we ain't done yet.
That's crazy to me, but that's
I watched it,
greatness.
they had him all mic'd up, and he's like, no, we're going for it next year.
Oh, man, I cannot wait for this game. We'll see what happens. We'll be doing a little bit more of a Super Bowl preview for our next episode, but man.
It was a fun championship Sunday.
It was, and if like the Eagles lost to the Commanders, I would have been so salty watching that AFC game. I would have felt awful.
might have not even watched
I might not even watched it. Like honestly,
Yeah.
so it was Hacks over here shaking his head like you losers. I know.
Yeah, we littered the streets.
I'll never watch football again. The Eagles lost.
No,
No, it just would have sucked.
it just would have hurt,
Wouldn't
man.
wanna watch it.
Yeah, it would have
Yeah,
hurt.
to Washington to lose, that would be like, yeah, I don't know. We the people ended up on Broad Street, had a good time.
Yeah, you hear the official number. There was only 630 people on Broad Street after the game.
Oh yeah,
You remember you know what I'm talking about? Remember the ridiculous number they came out with at our last Super Bowl parade? They said there was like 100,000 people there or something.
It was way less than it actually was. Yeah, there's no way. But yeah, cannot wait. We'll be talking more about the Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl next week's episode. But man, we are ecstatic here. And go Birds as always.
suck it, Kevin.
Suck it, Kevin. That's right. You hater. You hater. I don't want to see you in the emails again, Kevin. This week on the show, we are covering. Why you're laughing? That's laughing. He emails us every week, and he's been hating on us, man, just because he's a Browns fan.
Yeah, he's
loser.
tripling down. Yeah, he was tripling down.
I don't know. Maybe he'll quadruple down, the loser.
Oh, you know it's coming.
This week, guys, we all watched the 1992 Royal Rumble. Hack, I got to ask you, too. This is like, you've been in the business for a couple of years here now at this point in time. Were you watching the Royal Rumble every year as an event? Was this something on your radar?
I watched all the time, dude. If I was home, the pay-per-view was on.
Okay, that's awesome. Because the Rumble, and it was starting to take off. It originally was a television event on USA. They used for some counter promotion. But watching the Rumble, the concept of the Rumble. Do you know the origins of the Royal Rumble and how it really got? No. So the Royal Rumble was an idea of a promoter named Roy Shire out in San Francisco, and Pat Patterson was in that territory. So Pat Patterson had this idea, and he took it from them of doing this big once-a-year battle royal with all the top stars being in it. And so they took that concept and they took it over to WWF eventually, and that's the Royal Rumble. And it's a really great match concept because it's different than a typical battle royal. I want to ask you, Hack, as a worker going into a battle royal, what do you know going into a battle royal? Just so you're when you come in your exit spot, or that's it?
Who's eliminating you?
That's it.
Yeah, and you figure out who are the two before you. So if you got to set up a little something, if you hear this guy's going and you know the next guy's going, then you know you're afterwards. So you get yourself in position. You find the guy who's supposed to eliminate you.
And the rest of it, you're just freestyling out there.
Yeah.
You're just
I mean,
winging it.
are you getting?
And nobody used to shoot people into the ropes ever during a Rumble.
Okay.
If you're laying on you never really got you were never on the ground unless freaking you were in the corner, somebody's foot in your throat, and your legs are out on the apron so you don't get stepped on. That was like the old school rules.
I was gonna say, yeah, like your do's and don'ts of like the
the
Royal
old
Rumble
school.
slash
No,
Battle
you
Royal.
never shoot somebody in a Royal
A battle royal
Battle Royal,
situation.
Royal Rumble, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot different. I mean, times have changed, obviously, and
we'll get into.
yeah, the work is obviously a lot different in today's day and age versus old battle royals and everything. But to me, it's like just a cool thing to see all that talent be in the ring at the same time.
Tosh, do you know did it always start as 30?
I think the original one was 20. I want to say the Hacksaw and maybe Big John Studd ones were 20.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that, but when they first started, I know Hacksaw won the first one, and then I think Big John, and then I think Hogan won a couple, and then here we are in '92. The first year where they did the winner of the Rumble got a WrestleMania shot was '93. So that wasn't part of the tradition until '93.
And this was, the winner of the Rumble was the champ.
Got the title.
Right.
Now, Hack, do you remember anything about Ric Flair when he first got to WWF? Anything around that time?
I
period?
thought it was cool as shit.
Yeah.
You know, I was into it.
Yeah, because, I mean, this was worlds colliding. This is Ric Flair, the NWA Southern Champion, appearing in WWF for the very first time. So in the late stages of
With a new haircut, he cut his hair before he came in. He shortened it
So
up.
this is the first.
It wasn't his first match. So what happened was, at the end of '91, Flair had a dispute with WCW, and Flair actually owned the NWA title. He owned it, and he had
Because back then you used to have to put up money to have that title. Like Harley Race put up the 10 G's for Tommy Rich to get it for a week.
Yes. Well, Flair owned the title, right? He literally owned the WCW belt. And he has a dispute with WCW. He leaves WCW, and he takes the WCW title with him to WWF in '91. Now, this all got worked out in a lawsuit that WCW had against WWF. It was their property. They ended up not being able to use the belt on TV. But, I mean, you think about Vince's paranoia about WCW wanting to take the title in '97 when Hart went.
Right.
I mean, going in like, hey, you wonder why you had that paranoia? Is because you took that idea first and you did it. You know, you really had their belt.
Right.
And the idea was to have Flair.
That could have been the first that's kind of like holding up the title.
Right.
Like, did Macho Man hold him up for a couple $100,000, I think? This has been held up before matches.
I think Honky did it. Honky held him up. Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah, I mean, like, so Flair brings the belt over with Bobby Heenan in an interview, and he has the title on TV a couple times, and it's since had to get blurred out, and they kind of dropped that by this point when you did the Rumble '92. But the build up to this match is you had a match between Taker and Hogan for the title, and that had an interference, and that the title got held up by Jack Tunney. And this was this Tuesday in Texas. Do you remember any of this stuff, Hack, back then? No. So the title's vacant at this point. You have Flair coming in. The idea when Flair first came in, too, was to run Flair and Hogan at WrestleMania. But after doing it on the house shows a couple times, when they did the return match, so you do the original house show match and then you do the return match, the return didn't draw as well. So Vince then pivoted. Instead of doing Flair Hogan at Mania, he went to Hogan and Sid at Mania.
Yeah, but a lot of people have to realize, too, if you were... Because they don't do house shows anymore, but they used to do they would do a house show like the week before WrestleMania. There'd be house shows, and they always did one show. If you were in Fayetteville, Carolina, you might have got to see basically the whole WrestleMania, because they would all have their match at a house show 2 days before,
Like a tryout, like
hey, get your shit together, guys.
a dry run with a schmoz finish or something, maybe.
Hogan and the Warrior literally practiced their match for days. They set aside a whole week for those two to practice that match.
Wow, that's crazy stuff, man. It's just a different.
Go out there and work. Dude.
It's a different business now, right? Like, and the house shows were one of the big drivers of revenue, and now you're not even seeing
not
barely any.
necessarily. I mean, because remember what Bubba was telling you, how they practice their matches, like, you know what I'm saying?
But there's a difference between doing it in a warehouse when nobody's watching, really, and doing it in front of a packed audience and hearing the reactions and stuff too. So you might develop some bad habits if you're just doing performance center practicing versus like out in public. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah, 100%. You're not slowing down. You're not reacting to the crowd or like letting anything.
Well, nobody in AEW does that anyway.
It's just, I know, but I'm saying it's just go, and you're not.
Your timing's all off and everything. You can't breathe. It's like Terry fucking Jerry Lawler had that nobody in the building match.
the empty arena
You guys
match.
even know that?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
That was a total empty arena, and those two had a fucking like half-hour brawl in it.
Yeah. Pretty cool
Lawler
stuff.
literally rolled down those steps like 30 feet. Oh my gosh, I don't know how he ever did that bump.
Yeah, that's a crazy bump.
Dreamer used to like to do it, but he was a fat ass, so he had his ass over him.
This show was live from Albany, New York. They had a packed house, and man, was that
What was it called? The Knickerbocker
the
Arena? or something?
Knickerbocker Arena.
I would have said that was in freaking
New York.
Yeah.
It was New York, but in New York City.
New
Yeah.
York.
It was a packed house, and they were lively too, man. The crowd came alive a lot of points in the show. And the show was hosted by Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. And I think this show, more than anything else, is like, this is the Bobby Heenan performance. of a lifetime. Like this show, especially him in the Rumble, he is so
Jerking
on.
off Flair the whole freaking Rumble.
This isn't fair to Flair.
Yeah, he basically was, Hack. But we'll get into that. The opener was the Orient Express taking on the New Foundation, which was Jim the Anvil Neihart, your boy Hack, and Owen Hart.
Why was it the New Foundation?
Well, Bret Hart was no longer teaming with Jim the Anvil, and he was a singles career at this point. He was IC champion for a while, and it was just kind of
because they knew he was the star out of the
two.
Yeah.
And it was a way to kind of maybe work in
Just
Owen.
like Uso right now, they know the star is out of that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. And I thought they were really good as a team together, Owen and Jim, like Anvil. Like they had a lot of really good double teams. Obviously, Owen.
Well, Anvil did nothing in the match.
He didn't have to. He did all his strong spots, and he did the finish with the slingshot.
I think he took one bump.
he was fun in it. Like
How great would that be? 20-minute WrestleMania match with one bump.
from Rumble match, yeah, for the opener.
did it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I great call, Ollie. You did do it. What do you remember of Pat Tanaka and what the heck's the other guys? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank
I
here.
know, we just had it. I can't think.
Paul Diamond.
Yeah.
What are your memories of those guys working ECW as well?
Yeah, they weren't in my group.
They weren't in your group, so that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couple of squares.
Couple of squares. Any memories of working them or anything? Nothing.
I would say I was never in the ring with either one of them.
You
but
definitely
you know me.
were. We'd have to. Yeah, we definitely have to check that. I'm pretty sure you probably were. I enjoyed this match though. I thought it was a really, really fun, good tag opener. You had a nice heat section. I love the false finish with the Fuji cane in the corner. Owen took a great bump into that, and I really liked this one. I thought it was just really.
But what a difference a freaking 30 years makes.
It is. Watching the show now too. I know, Ollie, a lot of times you're not as big a fan of the older wrestling, and we'll get into some of that later here on the show.
Oh,
but
some of this was like,
yeah,
it's more about the characters on the show, actually.
It
not
is.
the gimmicks about
The
it.
Mountie, he was like, who the hell is a Mountie?
but I like it. Like I like this match. It was a fun, basic tag team, and the crowd was into the finish.
They were.
I really, really like this. I'm going to go 3 stars for this one. Ollie, what do you give the opener?
I'll give it 3 for the time period.
Wow, that's a reluctant 3. That's like a
It
real.
is reluctant.
That's a
It's very
2025 1 star from
I'm
Ollie.
giving it a 2.
2? Ty?
Yeah, I gotta get, dude, a 20-minute tag opener on your WrestleMania like that. Like I was like, man, this is pretty rough. I mean, for
Half-ass yarn.
I like that. Yeah, literally. I like the finish though, so I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, the finish was nice. I really liked it. They did the rocket with the rocket launcher. He threw him for the finish, and
Yeah, I mean
thought
that's 92. You know,
yeah,
like,
it's 92.
Because I'm like sitting there watching with Oliver, and he's like, "Oh man, that's hard." I'm like, "Oliver, it's 92."
Right.
I'm like, think of it. Remember where we're.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
it would
we're
be
at
like
here.
me watching like 1945 wrestling at a circus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that
Like,
equivalent.
this is the shit.
Well, dude, like, people got to understand, they would do 20 minutes in Madison Square Garden, Island Koloff and Bruno with a head knock and a couple bear hugs.
Right.
Arm lock.
And not do any
That's all,
bumps.
and beat him with the body slam.
Yeah, and no bumps.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
It's a different business.
Yeah.
There's an evolution to it. So, up next on the show was a recap of everything that went on with the Intercontinental title. So, at this point, Bret Hart was the IC champion, and there was actually a contract dispute with him where he was in talks with WCW to take the IC title maybe over to WCW.
In that year?
In 92, yes. This guy, Tom...
Like tit for tat, you got Flair, we'll take your next star.
A kind of little revenge
That's what
thing.
that sounds like.
So this is 5 years before Survivor Series.
Like Vince swinging his cock in a sword fight with Ted Turner.
Yeah, kind of is.
Yeah.
So this is 92, 5 years before Survivor Series. Bret Hart almost has this issue going to WCW here. So they take the title off of Hart at a house show and they give it to the Mountie. Bret obviously comes to terms with WWE on a new deal. They decide to do Piper and Hart at Mania.
Switch it to Piper and
to then go to back to Hart.
Right.
And Piper is never somebody who held a singles title.
Never.
Piper is somebody who was very smart with business. So when he did his long program with Hogan in the 80s, he never did a finish with Hogan because he always wanted there to be more down the road to do business. So he notoriously never did a clean job for Hogan for years and years and years so that he could go back and do business. And Piper didn't really do business with a lot of people because he did a lot of DQs and non-finishes or he went over. So he goes on to WrestleMania and puts Bret Hart over clean because he was friends with the family and wanted to put Bret over.
Well, Portland's pretty close to goddamn where Stu's fucking house is.
Yes. And Piper put Bret Hart over huge in their Mania match a couple months after this. So Piper and the Mountie, man, Piper comes out and he gets just like a giant superstar reaction.
I know his interview.
Awesome.
Dude, his interviews are like fucking spellbinding.
They are so good. Like there's and the thing too, it's like he's not going out there and doing 10. This is a 1 minute, 1:30 promo. And I think the art of the short and sweet promo is lost in today's wrestling sometimes. And Piper just drilled his promo. Like I thought, Ty, what did you think of Piper's performance with that?
Dude, I mean, it's always it's like you said, it's like short and sweet. It's always intentional.
Yeah.
You know, like, and he's getting a point across, and you know exactly what's going. Like, it's great. Everything he does is great.
Yeah, he said, take Piper's manhood. I come here to fight. I don't know what you come here to do. You've been dreaming, and it sounds like they're all wet. And I was like,
Yeah, that was good. For back in them days, that's almost like scandalous.
yes,
Right.
yeah. Like Piper was always right on that line of like what you could get away with, what you couldn't. And he's a
Yeah, he
babyface.
was smart.
He's a babyface at this point, and the reaction he gets coming out, man. I mean, the crowd just comes alive, and you hear it later when he comes out in the Rumble.
he looked good, too.
He
He was in
looked
good
great.
shape,
He
yeah.
was shredded. He was in real good shape. The match itself was nothing.
Yeah, but it didn't need to be.
It didn't need to
That's
be.
exactly the point right there. It's a transitional champion. You know what I mean? They didn't have to do 50. They could have done 7 instead of 9. What they do?
did
Like
do
Five, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 5 bell to bell. Was
It was nothing. It was a nothing
Oh,
match.
yeah, it was hilarious.
The Mountie, Ollie, the Mountie was. You don't know much about the Mountie.
No, he's
Really
like,
not.
who the hell is the man?
I've obviously seen the guy before, but I didn't know he was like getting in the ring. And
He's one of the Rougeau brothers.
Ollie thought he would come out to the ring and sit on his horse and watch the match.
Yeah, totally.
I love how Jimmy Hart is managing like all these different guys. Like, what does the Mountie have to do with Earthquake and Typhoon? Like, what do they have in common? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, I don't know. But the Mountie and Piper, this match was nothing to write home about.
Lost by taser.
Lost. Well, no, he didn't lost, but then he tased him afterwards.
Yeah, whatever.
The
Yeah.
I mean, look, the
I
match.
thought it was he tased him, and that was like the finish. Like that was the.
I think he ran into Jimmy Hart for the finish on the apron.
Yeah, the duck spot.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, because he tased him, and then
Piper
like they
put him out
started
with the
ringing the
sleeper.
bell, and I was like, wait
And
a
then
second.
afterwards, he tases him when he's on the ground.
Right.
He
yeah,
builds
I
up
don't
to
know.
it.
Yeah,
He
maybe
builds
I
up
missed
to
that, and I
it.
was like confused.
He
a little
builds
bit
up to it. This, like, again, this is not a match, but it was fun. I had fun watching it. I'm going to give it star and a half. Ollie, what do you give it?
Jesus, you can't even give this a star rating, I guess, really, right?
Well, if you don't want to, that's fine. Hackwood.
I'm giving it a 3
There
just
you-
because of Piper's promo
I mean,
before.
Piper was awesome in it.
Yeah,
Awesome, but-
Piper was awesome.
Entertaining as shit, dude.
Yeah.
He's gripping. You want to hear what he says.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd go 3 just on the sheer fact of Piper's greatness.
Yeah, so Piper is the new Intercontinental Champion, and he's got a chance to do history later in the show by winning the IC title and the World title on the same night. So, pretty cool. Next, there was a promo from Hulk
Oh,
Hogan.
that's right. Didn't we watch that already? He won the first one?
He won the IC title in this show, and then he's got the Rumble later for the World title
Oh, yeah.
in the same night. Hogan's in the back doing a promo for Coliseum Video, and this was like Hogan kind of like, it wasn't like Hogan all up. It was like more of like a low key Hogan. It wasn't like, I don't know. It was a different kind of Hulk Hogan, I think, for that one. Up next was the Beverly Brothers taking on the.
Yeah, he wasn't all like eat your vitamins and shit like that. You know what I mean?
He was more
like
low-key.
a guy just like hanging out.
Yeah, it was more realistic kind of from Hogan there. It was a different side of him. Up next was the Beverly Brothers taking on the Bushwhackers. Oh my God, this match! How long did this one go, Ollie? Because this was just—I feel like it went
too long.
I feel like it went 45 minutes. Like this was
14 minutes and 56 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, there's no reason anyone should ever watch this match. I
I
can't.
don't know. The Bushwhackers are great.
Dude, we're watching them. They're coming out and licking kids' faces. I'm like, I would have punched that dude in the face if I grabbed my kid.
They're licking children's faces.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe the parent didn't even like pull the kid back.
No, they're like, what?
Yeah, like offering them up like Simba. Like,
Yeah.
lick my kid's face. It's like, what?
And they had their weird manager Jameson with them too.
I don't. Where is that dude from?
He's
No, we
he's
don't remember
like a
him.
nerdy guy that was involved
No
with
shit.
like Bobby Heenan. He's a no shit.
He's a nerdy guy. I mean, why is he out there?
He was involved with like Bobby Heenan when Bobby Heenan used to do like the Bobby Heenan show. I think. Like I don't really know much about Jameson actually. It was very weird.
Somebody fucking write us in and tell us about the background of that dude, because I don't remember him at all.
He was
And that's
eating like
insane
he
to
was
me.
eating snacks on the outside of the ring, like out of his pocket. Like Bobby Heenan was ripping them. I don't know. It was a whole weird thing. The Beverly Brothers are actually pretty decent, and so are the Bushwhackers. Like if you ever go back and watch some sheep herders matches from
Dude, they
Puerto
were
Rico,
killers.
from Puerto
They
Rico,
were killers, dude. They were rough dudes.
That's the craziest thing about wrestling to me sometimes. It's like, okay, if you only know this one section of somebody's career, somebody could have a completely different section in their earlier parts of their career that does nothing to play. Like, if you told me the Sheep Herders ended up being this children's tag team, like, fun babyface act, and they were straight, like, bleeding
Killers.
bucket killers.
Bleeding killers.
Well, that was like kind of like me for the longest time with like Tommy Rich.
Okay.
Like when I got introduced to Tommy Rich, he was the dude in the FBI.
He was a goof in the FBI, not
like
NWA World Champion.
or like Tracy, like like I had until like I got older and like found out like he was actually like long.
You know
great.
the ones like how much did people really see of Stan Hansen?
Yeah.
Like compared to like his Japanese days where he was a straight killer, like
Yes.
him and Brody.
Yeah.
Dude, having those matches with like Jumbo Sarutin.
Yes.
Dude, they are stiff.
Yeah.
Everything. He's like, you're hitting the guy 3/4 every time you freaking hit the guy. But they never saw that Stan Hansen
Right.
in the United States.
Right.
You know? And we didn't have a computer in our pocket.
Yeah, there you go.
Rumor has it.
Started that whole story just to get the computer in the pocket in.
This match wasn't anything. I can't give this a star rating. Just out. Ollie, do you give this anything?
One face lick around.
Yeah, one face slick.
No, this is disgusting.
This is disgusting hack.
Yo, what's the dude's name? Not the one with the longer hair. I roomed with the guy once when I first got to WCW. What
Mike
was-
Enos.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
I could not remember his name.
yeah. He's one of the best. He's actually a really good worker, man. Like he
Oh,
could-
yeah.
The Beverly Brothers.
Both of them could actually work.
Both of them could actually work. I
Yeah.
mean, really, really good workers. So this just wasn't a match to have a good match, and it was just a card
Exactly.
placement
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
for who for what. Yeah. Ty, do you give anything to this one?
Nah, one face lick.
One face lick. Up next, Mean Gene was talking to the Legion of Doom going into their match with the Natural Disasters, and they said they're not about to start losing now. This was the yeah. Just I love anything backstage with Mean Gene and the hype promos before matches. Just like they're great. They're fan. They don't do them. They don't do them like that anymore. So this was the WWF Tag Team Title match between Legion of Doom and the Natural Disasters, and to me, this was just. Ugh. I didn't really care for this match. I know what it's supposed to be, just like this bruiser match, and I do like. I don't know. I love.
Fupas were flying, man. Fupas were flying.
Fupas were flying. Fupas were flying. Typhoon. I don't know. Earthquake.
I liked the match.
Earthquake is great.
Those guys were bumping. They bumped more in
They
that
did.
match
They
than
did.
freaking they ever bumped in. I ever seen them in any other match ever.
Right.
Both those two.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, like, it's 1992. You got a bunch of heavyweight, super heavyweight guys in the ring here. It's not going to be pretty.
And it's
but
hilarious because they portray Hawk and Animals, these huge dudes, and like Earthquake and Typhoon, like just
Dwarfed them.
Dwarfed them.
Dude,
Yeah,
back in the
literally.
day, it would be the Rock and Roll Express against the Road Warriors, and you'd see the size difference there. Oh my God, the Rock and Roll Express would look like a 12-year-old kid standing next to an Earthquake and Typhoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earthquake is
12-year-old huge, dude.
I mean, they had instant credibility.
Yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
I mean, both those guys were really good at what they did.
They had to have the belts at some point, didn't they?
I believe the
think?
Natural Disasters were tag champs at some point. Yeah.
They had to have been.
I
would think.
I love Jimmy Hart too as a manager. Like Jimmy Hart, I know we talked about him a little bit with the Mountie earlier. Hack, you had a lot of experience with Jimmy Hart, man.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. He's just a seasoned professional, man. Like, it's like, I don't know.
Never misses a spot. Is always right on time. The dude's awesome.
Was there anything in this match worth any notes on this match, Hack, besides?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, I was just entertained by the big men actually having a way better match than I thought it was going to be when I first saw what the match
considering
was.
4 big dudes who aren't really bumpers.
Right.
And then there's just a big brawl on the floor, and then Typhoon beat the count, and that was the finish. It was a real shitty finish, but yeah.
Damn, Tosh, tell us how you really feel
I
about
didn't like
this.
it. I didn't like it. I mean, it was fun for what it was, but it was just, I can't give it a star. Ollie, any stars for this? No. Hack?
4. Easily.
4 easy. I love it.
They were bumping, dude. Those guys, dude. I guess they figured because the Road Warriors weren't bumpers.
No,
you know what I mean. So they figured they surprised went out there and said, "Well, fuck this. Somebody's got to bump in the match."
Right.
It's like me in a match with Carino and freaking and Justin. Somebody's got to do the bumps.
right.
You know what I mean? So that's how I think they were proving something. The natural disasters were proving something in that match. Whether it was to the back, to Vince themselves.
Maybe to the
I
Road
just think
Warriors, because they were kind of on the outs with WWF shortly after, not too long after this.
Yeah, but they probably could have beat the shit out of them.
Oh, yeah.
The Road Warriors, you know what I mean? But they bumped their asses off for them. So I don't think that's the problem.
Okay. Ty?
Yeah, it was all right for what it was. 2 face licks.
2 face licks. Okay. Up next, we
Two face licks. Are we on a different match?
know he's still just doing that because he's having fun.
Oh, fine. Damn. Mr. Bagger reference.
Yeah.
We'll get to that with the Rumble.
Shaw
here.
rating. I'm doing my own little Shaw rating here.
It's his face lick scale.
I love it.
Up next, we had Shawn Michaels promo. So this was right after he turned on Marty Jannetty and threw him through the barbershop window. It's one of the most famous angles in WWF history.
Like the Jastuka Coconut, Frankie Williams, it's right up there.
It's right up there in like the Mount Rushmore of like biggest WWF angles that really catapulted somebody. And Michaels, like you were talking about with Brett earlier, going singles from the Hart Foundation. Michaels going singles away from Marty Jannetty. I mean, it just propelled his career. And not that
Marty was a druggie.
No, I know.
So that's all. Well, and you knew one was more of a star than the other. It happens all the time.
But Marty was a hell of a worker himself too.
Yeah,
I mean, great
hand.
worker. And
Great
like you said, Hack, he had a lot of problems where he was in and out of WWF. I mean, he probably has been fired from WWF like 10, 15 times. I'm not even kidding. Like Marty Jannetty, like because they kept bringing him back because he was so damn good, but he kept making mistakes.
What Jeff thing? Hardy.
Jeff Hardy, exactly. Same thing.
No matter. Tell me you're straight kid for the last 6 months. Let's go.
Right.
Let's do another run with you.
Right. And it's like, it's unfortunate, but Shawn really took the ball and ran with it after the heel turn on Marty after the barbershop window. And like, it took him a while to get to the top of the business, but you could see it even.
Well, he was so small back then, too.
Right. Like, look on this card.
It was monsters everywhere.
Right. This is pre-steroid scandal. Its
Right.
business is falling off from the 80s a little bit, but it's pre-steroid scandal.
Dudes are big.
Where Hart and Michaels, like in 92, later in the year, Hart gets the belt, which is the change from big man to small man in WWF. And Michaels didn't get the belt till 96. So it took him a while to get to the top of the business, but this was the start of it right here.
Definitely, yeah.
Breaking away from Marty. And do you remember watching that angle at the time?
Dude,
Like,
I was popping huge for it.
it was great.
Yeah,
It was great.
it was awesome.
It was violent. It was you had blood involved. It was glass. It was a different element from what you normally would see from
Well,
a
whose
WWF.
show was that? Because remember it started
Beefcake.
when
It was
Vince
Beefcake.
was sitting there.
It was Beefcakes. It was the barbershop.
It was the barbershop.
Yeah.
Okay. All
so
right.
like in the 80s and 90s, like a lot of the WWF wrestlers would have like their own talk show segment. There would be the Snake Pit for Jake the Snake. There'd be
Right.
there'd be Piper's Pit. There'd be all these different ones. They would do segments on the show just to set up angles and stuff. And
Oh, do you know Brutus the Barber?
Yeah, I
okay.
know who you're talking about.
yeah.
Cutting and strutting?
Yeah, God, it's true.
The guy won't come, he's a barber.
I don't know
but
if
he
I've
has
seen them
clippers
a
and you
match.
clip them
Yeah,
with
like
shears.
shears. Yeah,
shears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say,
I
Al?
don't know if I've ever seen a match of him.
You don't need to.
No, you don't.
Oh my God.
He was not a worker.
He was Hogan's boy.
Yeah, he was.
That's
best,
how he ended up with that
That
push.
makes a lot of sense.
he was best friends with Hogan.
Hogan couldn't work.
No, he couldn't either. The beefcake was just.
Oh, those two would be so stuck. If you put a big paper bag over them, they'd be done. They couldn't they couldn't work their way out of it.
So here we are. This is the reason for doing the show. You had a lot of really good.
But they had show.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Beefcake
I'm,
and-
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't the greatest worker ever either, but I never tried to be. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you're over, you're over, you're over. It doesn't matter how you fucking get there.
Right. The other thing too, really cool about this is you got promos from like a lot of guys coming into the Rumble before the Rumble.
Oh, I had to fast forward through them. I couldn't listen to all of them.
great.
No, I didn't listen to him
Oh
either.
man! If you're
Like the
watching the show,
Barbarian, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I
Yeah, I
it.
couldn't listen to all those things.
so here we go. This is the reason we're reviewing this show. This is what I consider. I know, Al, you're giving me a little heat for this. I like. Maybe there are better Rumbles from today, but
There's 100%.
this is my favorite Rumble ever. I love this Rumble, man. I thought the star power, the Hall of Fame star power in this Royal Rumble. I'll take it.
There's a lot of names.
No, I will
What
give you
about
that. There's a lot of big stars, but like,
What about the Repo Man? Oh, you're like,
Oh
what
my
the
God,
frick
yeah.
is the Repo Man? Like walking around like he's on Batman. He's like the Riddler on Batman or something.
Yeah, or he's like the dude in like the
Freaking hilarious. I wish the plumber was in there too.
Oh, T.L. Hopper.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I worked him for a week in USWA when I first
you
got
really?
there. Yeah, it was my first week.
Repo Man's running around like he's outside Ralphie's crib at Christmas Story, like one of those bandits.
What
Like,
the hell is going on here, boys?
Oh God! All right, so the Rumble starts off with British Bulldog coming in at number 1 and Ted DiBiase at number 2.
Davey Boy.
Davey Boy and $1 Million Man. You got two Hall of
Just
Famers
that
right there.
star power right there with the two people.
Yeah.
Awesome, great. And Davey throws Ted out, and then you get Ric Flair coming in at number 3. And this match is the Ric Flair show, and it's also the
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan show. Bobby Heenan on commentary is so pissed that Flair is number 3. And
the whole show. This is unfair to Flair.
Yeah.
This is unfair to Flair. Every single time anything happens.
anything happened to him, and Flair just gets like,
Flair gave somebody a low blow, and he goes, "I'd do it to my grandmother if I had."
yeah. Heenan on this call is as good as commentary gets for wrestling. I mean, he's completely stooging it up, but it's just the Flair show. Flair's taking a beating in this match basically the entire time.
Oh, 100 back body drops, like 1,000 chops.
How many times does he get gorilla
come
press?
on.
Gorilla press?
Yeah,
the gorilla
he gets
press.
gorilla-
17 eye race.
17 eye rakes.
Oh, okay. Keep talking. Oh my God.
Jerry Sags came in at number 4, and then Bulldog was just beating away at Ric Flair.
Dude,
Sags,
for as big as Davey Boy was, man, he was blown up for just
oh
a fucking...
God, Davey Boy had no tank, man.
like
There's
none.
none.
He's
None at
breathing
all.
so hard.
No.
Like,
Dude,
two
he's
dudes
so big, like you have
So
to get
puffy.
all that oxygen.
Yeah, he's
to
not
all
doing
that
cardio.
oxygen.
No, so
All right,
puffy.
so hold on. Thank God you guys mentioned the eye rakes. I stopped counting at like 38.
You got
Dude, yes, I'm counting these things. Oh my God, Hogan did like 5 in the first minute he was in the ring.
Yes, he did.
And Flair were like 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
fucking blind in there.
Dude, it's a joke and nobody sold it once. They would do a blind thing and then they'd fucking have the guy right back on, shoot him in and put him right back up on yourself. Dude, I stopped counting at 38.
The fact that you counted 38 eye rakes
Because
is
I
like
was
amazing.
Sick. I was because Flair's in there right away. Flair did 5 in his first 2 minutes too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh my
You
God.
get an eye rake,
And then
you
I'm
get an eye rake.
Everybody got an eye.
I'm picturing you with like a little counter thing, clicking it
Yeah,
each
like-
time,
like a pitch clock.
yeah,
I tell you, somebody
Yeah.
please watch it back. I think it's up to it went to 50 at least. There was that many.
Haku came in at number 5. Flair and him were going to town with each other with chops. Hack, did you ever have any run-ins with Haku? Haku is a legendary name in the business.
Oh no, just getting to not too long ago. I rode with him in the car,
Okay.
And I'm the kind of guy who's like, tell me your story. How the fuck did you get here?
Right.
Like Seek, I never met Seek. The first time I met him, we were up in like North Dakota. We had like a 3-hour ride. I just asked him, tell me your story, dude.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was, just one to kill time, but for two to get to know, you learn something from somebody
Yes,
all
you
the
do.
time. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I always feel like listening to
You're
wrestlers.
just searching for that nugget of fucking like, oh wow, I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, Haku, legendary badass in pro wrestling.
Dude, yeah.
Really?
I've been in the ring. I've been in the gym, and I was not working out, but I was there because I was with Scott.
I was lost. I was asking directions.
Dude, those guys were
Trying
doing
to find a
reps.
liquor store.
I was gonna say trying to find the stairwell.
I've been to the gym a lot and slept under the stairs, swear to God, while the boys worked out. But I've been in the gym where Haku, the Barbarian, and the other tall guy that was bald, with 550.
The Warlord?
Yeah, 550 on the freaking
The bench?
on the bench. Yeah,
Wow. I'm not sure.
550. Every one of them did it 3 times.
Bad motherfuckers, dude.
I mean, the Warlord
I mean, the
was
bars
nasty.
like bent, shit like that, and dude. It's impressive when you watch that freaking. I mean, it's even impressive on TV, but when you're there and the guys are like snorting and shit, like fucking hogs underneath there, dude. That's how it is.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
you
man.
get yourself psyched as shit to do this weight.
Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah, it was
crazy.
very impressive.
Next thing was Shawn Michaels, and him and Flair were going at it, which was really cool. Watching the young Shawn Michaels work Ric Flair, they were doing a lot of chops and some cool stuff there. Up next was Tito Santana. Any interactions with Tito Santana, Hack, in the business?
No, just later on, me and him at a signing, like sitting there, like shooting shit.
Okay.
Me asking questions, that's what that means, shooting
Yeah,
shit.
Tito Santana came up through Mid Atlantic and then the WWF in the 80s.
And he had that one belt, the AWA belt, that badass one that was like this big.
Oh, was he AWA champion? I didn't know that.
I thought, I don't know.
I'm going to have to
probably
check him
wrong.
on that. I don't know. Let's
I could be
see.
thinking of somebody else.
The Barbarian was in
Might be
next.
thinking of Rick Martel. Nah.
And Gorilla was like, Barbarian doesn't like Flair. And then Flair and the Barbarian went right at each other. That was pretty cool. Then the Texas Tornado came in. Hack, I mean, just watching him work at this point, he still had the look, but it just wasn't, like, the work couldn't keep up at this point for him.
I'll tell you, the only story that the only time I ever really had like any kind of like personal contact with him, he was so fucked up. We were at a hotel right by the Philadelphia airport. It's not the one connected to the airport. It's like a half a mile due south of it. And it was a Dennis Carluzzo. I think it was a Dennis Carluzzo show, and I was there because of Joel Goodhart.
Okay.
The guy who started ECW. He's working with Nancy. This is the first time I met Nancy too. You know what I mean? But we were in this like little like circle or whatever, dressing near each other. And Carluzzo's like, no, you can't. He's like a surprise guest kind of thing or something like that. So they have him under a hood, but he wants to wear his denim jacket out that says his name on the back. And he's like, no, they won't notice. This is what he started telling fucking Carluzzo. And then Nancy goes to Carluzzo because she knows Carluzzo ain't winning this fight. He's going out there with the jacket. So she tells Carluzzo, yeah, I'll just hold my hand over his name as we're walking to the ring. That's how she solved that problem. Wow. And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
But he was adamant to wear the jacket even though he was surprised?
Yeah, and he was under a hood and he was a surprise.
Oh, man, that makes no sense to me, but
Well,
I mean,
he's pretty freaking high.
yeah.
Well, and then, dude, you gotta fucking,
Cocaine's a hell of a
you
drug.
gotta respect it, dude. For after that motorcycle accident or wherever, his ankle was fused.
Yeah.
Like on, I don't know, 90-degree angle or whatever. But and the only reason I knew about that was because Ivan Koloff, the first time I wrestled him, he's like, please, bro, don't fucking run me. And I'm like, sorry, sir, what did you say? And he pulled down his freaking sock, and his ankle just looked like there was a big rock under skin. He goes, dude, like back in the day, in the 60s, he goes, my ankle was broken, but I just worked through it.
Oh, man.
Not like they're doing the shit that they do today, but still.
Walking on it,
Yeah,
everything.
He can't flex his ankle at all.
Oh, man.
And that's what happened to Kerry. So that's where he came up with that turnaround bolo punch thing, I think.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But he worked with a fused fucking ankle.
That's insane.
And nobody even knew it.
Yeah, no one knew it, and yeah. Up next in the match was the Repo Man, Ali, your boy, sneaking around the ring. That is your
This
boy.
stuff is like
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the fact that like everybody, like the fans were so invested in the repo game. Like,
What?
I know.
So-
Like, oh no, IRS.
Yeah, because it had to have been like a Vince grievance. Like a lot of Vince stuff, probably like the IRS was probably after him, and he probably had like a car repo.
The
and was
repo
like,
man.
God damn it! I'm making a repo man. Fuck the government. You know,
Yeah.
like I could just picture Vince having like a conniption and creating the repo
Oh,
man
they had
character.
it. Who played the Centaur?
Oh, Mantar.
They had
we
a
watched him in
Mantor,
ECW
freaking
recently.
goofy
Remember?
gimmick. Huh?
We watched him in ECW recently. He was that big motherfucker.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was Mantar. It was one of the ECW shows we
I
watched.
remember the show. I think I asked you.
Yeah.
Minotaur.
Yeah,
Taste
Minotaur.
the beast.
Up next was
We
Greg.
got to think of some more. In fact, I want people to call in, write in, whatever the hell you do.
Your
type in.
best old WWE gimmick.
Yeah, like the craziest gimmick that you ever remember WWF having.
Okay, we'll
Because
go-
that was WWF when that shit was going on.
Okay, we'll have to do like a craziest gimmick.
Yes, we should do
craziest
like the
gimmick.
most ridiculous gimmicks ever.
show. Yeah.
I mean, think about freaking.
I mean, Doink's pretty fucking ridiculous.
Doink's pretty ridiculous, but kind of worked though.
yeah, but think about the Undertaker too.
Ridiculous, but worked.
Right.
Best gimmick
You know
ever.
what I'm saying?
Dr. Yankum.
You're gonna
Awful.
get. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, they had a dentist.
Yeah.
Dr.
Isaac
Yankum. It was
Yankum.
Kane. Wasn't it?
No, it was that. That was the dude that smacked John Tossel, the
No, you're
reporter.
thinking Dr. Death. It was Kane. Ty
Yeah,
is correct.
Kane was Dr. Yankum.
You're thinking Dr. Death, David Schultz hack,
Yeah.
which is correct.
Okay.
well,
did
he
slap-
kind of looked. They did look kind of
He
similar.
did. They had the
but-
curly hair. They
Yeah,
both had
yeah.
curly hair.
Yeah, that's right. Isaac Yankum.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he turns into what was his?
Diesel. He was fake Diesel, and then he was Kane.
Yeah, I mean, Kane. Think about that one too. I mean, the
Yeah.
list goes on, and there's 100 that we're not even remembering.
Is that who you saw on Thursday, Ty? Isaac
Papa
Yankum?
Shango.
Yeah. I had to visit with Isaac Yankum over the past couple days.
And he ran out of the building with me chasing him when Papa Shango came out.
When I was younger, yeah. Papa Shango made me shit my pants. when I
Up
was
next was Greg the Hammer Valentine. Man, the Hammer was awesome. The Hammer, one of the all-time best workers. I love the Hammer, and he immediately goes right after Flair, and they're doing just a ton.
Hammer!
They're doing
They
a
would
ton
do
of chops.
hour battles, Flair and the Hammer.
Right, like this to me,
Like, wow.
part of this being the signature Flair performance in WWF is the fact that it was a Broadway performance for him. Like Flair was so used to doing 60, he could do 60 in his sleep. And for him
Easily.
to do,
That's straight shoot.
Yeah.
He did it every night and then drank all fucking night afterwards.
it's crazy.
Slept for like 3 hours.
It's crazy. He would sometimes do 2 Broadways in a day. He would do an early
I
and then he would
never
do a
heard that.
later double shot.
Well, like on like a matinee Saturday, and then
Yeah.
Well, the WWE used to do that. They would freaking go. They would do like at some time they've been in Philly on Saturday, and then Saturday afternoon, and then rolled up to Madison Square Garden for Saturday night.
Wow, that's crazy.
They do double shots.
That's
All
crazy.
of them back in the day. Tell us about them. 8 shows a week.
Up next was Nikolai Volkov. Any interactions with Nikolai Volkov in the business? Hack?
Besides his rock ankle?
Yeah.
That you just talked about?
No, that's Ivan.
That's Ivan Koloff.
Oh, I thought you were
Are
talking
you
about...
talking about Nikolai?
Yeah.
Ty knows the funniest thing ever about me and Nikolai.
with him, Mac.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
So I'm his tag team partner. Like 7 years ago, maybe.
you
whatever.
and Nikolai Volkov?
What was I his tag partner, Pap? Okay.
That's hilarious.
We're supposed to go a couple minutes or something like that. He gets out there and just keeps working and working and working, and finally I'm yelling to him, Nikolai, we need to go the fuck home. And the whole crowd would laugh. Because they knew, right, Pap?
Yeah.
They just knew he was insane.
Yeah, he was going to go up on the top rope and do something.
I'm like, wow, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Fucking with you. He's out of his mind.
Straight out of his mind.
So you just went home? What happened?
Oh, I think I had to go in and do something, and I wasn't even supposed to be in the match, so I think probably I had to do something which pissed me off.
You had to work on.
Dude, I would have went in. It got so bad, I would have went in and laid down and just.
tripped.
You did the Kevin Nash Hogan finish.
Because you know me, I didn't want to be out in no match or whatever.
No.
Oh, the only reason I did it was that for the dude in Reading, Pat, my buddy.
Sims, I think we were in Jersey.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he was laughing his ass off.
Oh, that you're right. Sims was there,
Screaming.
killing me.
He kept tagging you. He kept tagging him back.
Like I ain't going in. You're supposed to go home now. No.
Yeah, it's funny tagging him back in.
No, I don't want it. No, we'll just go home.
We're playing mannequin.
Oh God,
That's a great story. But no, I had never been in the same company at the same time with him.
Yeah, he's a little before your time.
Unless he came in for ECW for a couple.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about early ECW is you had a lot of like early '80s WWF guys,
The
Northeast
guys
guys,
on their way down.
right. So like you guys were all starting your career greenhorns, and these vets from like the early '80s that were no longer working WWF were then in ECW. So it's like interesting.
Like the guys I got to work with Morocco,
Snuka, yeah.
Koloff,
Right.
freaking all my first like month and a half.
Yeah,
2 months.
Lawler.
Yeah, how fortunate you were to like that.
Alpha.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Up next was the Big Boss Man, and he came in like a fucking
Like a bat out of hell.
dude. He was a boss.
Even that's kind of a ridiculous gimmick if you think about it.
Yeah, he's Georgia State Trooper.
But it
Yeah.
works because it's a little more real, I guess.
I mean, he was a shoot. I believe he was a shoot
could go.
corrections officer.
Oh yeah, he was.
dude,
and he-
that fucking
The kick?
Yeah,
Yo,
the kick.
yeah.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Like,
Dude, Boss Man could fucking work, like really go.
Dude, and if he lost 100 pounds, freaking like he could really go.
he was
Yeah.
actually in like decent shape here, and that like compared
Yeah,
to
he
like
was.
before
Yeah,
when
he got
like
50 pounds heavier than this.
Yeah.
At the
His
end.
run with Hogan too in the late '80s
Money.
was some of the biggest business WWF ever did. In fact, I think he might be Hogan's best
He
drawing.
is. And I think they were previous friends or something.
I don't know if they were that tight, but it was Hogan's best drawing work ever was with Boss Man or Paul Orndorff. But some of the biggest business Hogan ever did was Hogan and Boss Man on top, and they would do house show tours with the cage match, and the famous spot is the superplex off the top of the cage with Boss Man and Hogan. So Boss Man was a great worker. I thought
Ali, you would have killed yourself watching that main event.
no,
Hogan
you
against Boss Man.
You would have loved it, dude.
Dude, there's like 6 spots in the whole match.
It's
And they're all heat spots.
yeah.
The Boss Man ain't bumping it all until the end.
Repo got chucked out by Boss Man, and then Flair took out Bulldog, and then Kerry Von Erich clearing the ring a little bit. Tito and Sean fell out, and then in came Hercules. Any memories of Hercules, Hack? None for Herc there.
On the same company, same time.
Yeah, Hercules throws out Barbarian, and then Boss Man threw out Hercules, and then it's just Flair and the Boss Man. They were brawling, and then the Boss Man fell out of the ring, and Flair's in the ring now, all alone. It's about half hour in, and this is the perfect spot. This is one of the reasons why I love the booking of this. You get all the first half guys out, and now you really start to up the star power in the second half of this Rumble, and out comes Piper. Just
that was good. Yeah.
a fucking fire, Piper. The huge pop for him. And he's going right after Flair.
And
And
Flair does the roll under the rope.
roll under the ropes. They brawl out in the ring a little bit. The crowd is just going nuts. Doing a lot of eye pokes, atomic drop. And then out comes
Man, I
Jake.
hate the atomic drop. I hate that move basically more than any move in wrestling.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
None.
But it's wrestling. I chalk it up to that.
Straighten your legs. You're not gonna land your tailbone on his femur.
The only reason I like atomic drops, Hack, are watching Rick Rude sell one. Rick Rude's sell of the atomic drop.
Yeah, on his toes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes me like an
Arms
atomic drop.
going.
A lot of times that's what it is. People set like that's what makes the move.
Right.
Like, the move might be stupid, but
it's the sell.
Oh, sell it good.
Dude, Kurt Hennig would take it and then fly over the top rope on the
Yeah,
outside.
he would do like this crazy bump off
Dude,
it.
Kurt Hennig was one of the best fucking bumpers ever.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And he had that bad back his whole career.
Yeah, which is
That's
why,
where them bumps came from.
Which is
Instead
why-
of doing a straight back bump.
yeah, which is why he's not working at this point in '92. You notice he's Flair's manager. He's not
Yeah.
working at this
With
point.
tracksuit on.
Jake the Snake is out next, man, and Jake the Snake, dude, just has complete aura, like presence to him. Ollie, you're shaking your head. You're not.
No. I'm shaking my head in like a good way.
Yeah, that's not the ridiculous thing.
I want to see more of Jake. Actually,
Yeah, Jake.
Dude, go back and watch
when
Jake.
Jake puts the snake on, he's got Macho Man wrapped up in the bottom and second rope, and then he puts the fucking snake on fucking Macho Man's arm. The place loses their fucking mind. What a money fucking angle that was.
Well, this was shortly after that too, Hack, which
Was
is
it?
why when Macho comes out, he immediately goes after Jake.
Okay.
And if you notice, the commentary was playing it up too. Every time the alarm goes off, Jake's looking to see if Macho Man's coming. So then when Macho Man finally comes out, Jake hides and then jumps him. But I one thing I liked about this, and I wish they did this more in regular Rumbles today, is Flair and Jake are going at Piper here. They're double teaming him, and then they immediately turn on each other. Like I that's what I like about a Rumble. It should be every man for himself, really. Even heels going at heels or faces going at faces.
Yeah, so I can't wait to hear what you think about what happened last night.
We'll get into that, man. But they go after each other, and Bobby the Brain Heenan's commentary here when Piper saved him, and he was like, "Thank you, Roddy. It's a kilt, not a skirt," is what he said. That was another great line. Like,
And then he turns off, and then he goes, "It's a skirt."
it's a skirt. It's a skirt.
Yeah.
Like,
Telling you, Bobby and Lawler, maybe the best character play-by-play, color men ever.
I agree, Hack. I do.
Wow.
Just perfect.
Just funny as shit.
Yeah, just absolutely perfect.
And ridiculous,
You
over the
skirt
top,
wearing freak.
ridiculous, funny.
Freak. Out comes Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and huge pop for Hacksaw too.
I
Man.
mean, a dude carrying a 2x4 screaming USA been over.
Oh! Like,
That's where I got my cane idea from.
what's this for Hacksaw?
2x4. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
been over for 40 years. A dude
I'm like, I was in jail. I whittled this.
yeah, dude in
Out of a
tiny
2x4.
whities with a 2x4 screaming USA, just over for 40 years.
Out comes IRS.
Hold on.
What?
They were thinking about in like 2008.
We went over this.
You and Hacksaw being tag champs.
Man, I'm like, nope.
I love how you
I'd have
said.
to work.
I know.
I'm like, no, dude. He liked the idea. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, no shit, because he's not doing anything.
I love how you turned
It's a
down.
lose-lose. It's a lose-lose. There's no winning it. No, and they're talking about giving us the belts, too.
You would have been a tag champ. You
I
had to
know.
at least do it for a little.
No, I would have had to win. You're making the fucking same money.
Yeah. Well, all right.
I mean, well, if on a pay-per-view,
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say,
not
you would have
gonna
been
be
more-
at that level.
Yeah.
Like in a tag match on a pay-per-view, you're probably going to make like 60, 70 grand then at that point.
It would have been a nice
Each guy.
It would have been a nice popcorn match. You and Hacksaw versus like
The Hardys?
yeah, the Hardys or something. I'm just picturing all these weird matches that would have
Nah,
happened.
dude, I would trip on the way out, blow my idea.
Hey-oh!
The X symbol up.
Charlie Haas and Sean Beck.
Yeah, just destroying Hack.
Asking for New Jack and Mustafa, put the X up? Yeah.
That's who fucking what's her name
Back
was
to
married
taking back
to.
suplex.
Yeah. God, no,
Charlie
stop.
Haas is the dude that the girl we were talking about last night that came into the Rumble, the older chick.
Natalia.
Yeah,
No,
Charlie Haas.
no.
I'm still getting that wrong.
TJ
said
Wilson is
No,
married
he's
to
saying
Natalia.
Tyler somebody.
You said that last
we'll
night.
get
and
to
we told you were wrong.
I know,
We're
but you
back
said
here.
Tyler
No,
somebody.
I
No,
said,
it's
what is it?
Tyson Kidd.
Tyson
Oh,
Kidd.
yeah,
TJ
Tyson
Wilson.
Kidd.
Tyson Kidd.
I don't know. That's not it. I tell you, I've been in a fucking bus with them on a tour.
You have, but it's a different woman. Anyway, up next was
I bought
Yeah,
him
and-
coffee. I bought her
You're
in
not going to win this one.
We'll
Like,
get you a hack
so
check
it
on
was
this.
Jazz, huh?
We'll get you. Just
Yeah.
Jacqueline over here, Miss Texas.
Fuck you, idiots.
like, it's just not true. Like,
Up next was
I know,
IRS.
but it's stuck in my head. It's a lie that I believe now. And I'm not even trying to lie. That's kind of how I just think I remember shit.
Yeah. Up next was IRS. He went after Flair on the way in, then Duggan took him down. And then they're just brawling around the ring, and then Jimmy Snuka comes out. Hack, we already know you and Superfly hanging out in EC Dub.
All right, I gotta fucking put Jimmy over for is the first person ever I've seen dump a whole 8-ball of coke in his hand and snort it at one time.
There you go.
He didn't believe in cutting lines, but he was asking for it, so I got it for him. He did one shot.
So he would just antique himself, like.
Palm right in his freaking face, dude. And it looks like he's just baking and the fucking cake landed on his face. There's freaking coke everywhere.
Like when you put baby powder in a hand and pimp slap someone, like antique him, like he would just antique himself.
It's like, brother. Thank you, brother. Fucking the whole 8-ball was gone 8 seconds later.
Just had a schnoz full of dust.
Unfreaking believable.
Speaking of white powdered faces, Paul Bearer and The Undertaker are out next.
Nice segue. Nice segue.
He throws Jimmy Snuka out, and then out comes Macho Man, and Jake runs away. We talked about it earlier. Jake goes after Macho Man, and then he does a double axe handle, going off the top rope in a Royal Rumble seems counterintuitive.
And Macho Man throws himself out, and Undertaker's
nobody stops it.
And Undertaker's trying to throw him the fuck back in, and Macho Man keeps getting the fuck back out.
Dude, he didn't want to be in that match or something because he did nothing in that match.
Well, and
like zero.
I don't like how the announcers were like, "Oh, he didn't throw himself out," but like he should be eliminated from the Rumble.
Yeah, well, they were saying no, you have to be thrown out by somebody else.
That's
like,
not true.
Yourself. Like
That's not true. We know Rumble rules. His feet touch the ground.
He literally leaped over the top to the outside, and you see Undertaker go out and like grab him and like try and throw him the fuck back in, and then he gets back out again and tries to chase Jake down the runway, and Undertaker goes and grabs him again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And throws him back in.
Yeah, I don't know if Macho was just like too jacked up at that point or didn't realize the rules.
He was probably.
Yeah, he was probably.
Oh, so another time.
Brother.
Yeah.
So
he probably did a little Jimmy Snuka backstage before this one.
I got another one for you. Fucking. Who were we just talking about besides Snuka?
Savage.
Macho Man.
Yeah, that's it, Savage. So I'm at B. Brian Blair's gym at Wooders and Dale Mabry in Florida.
What an alliteration did you just say?
B. Brian Blair.
Yeah, B. Brian Blair. Oh, he was the Killer Bees. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Brian.
They had Killer Bees. The guys came out with yellow and black. They had stingers on top of their heads.
Oh, God. Yeah, see, I didn't know that. That's why I was like,
Okay.
wait, what did you just say?
Yeah, so I'm at Blair's gym and it's a Christmas party and Brian freaking invited me. So I had to go, you know what I'm saying? I go, first thing I do, I walk in, it's him, Macho Man, and me sitting in his office. Macho Man pulls out, like, if you know what, like, a 2-pound whey protein, like, jug is, he pulls one of them things out, and it's got GHB in it. Dude, GHB, bye-bye, see ya. I can't tell him, no, I ain't doing any.
It's Macho Man. Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to be like, no, dude, I'm good. He'd be like, who knows what promo he would have cut on. Oh, you pussy. Yeah, I thought you were a hardcore
the
dude.
king of the shit.
Yeah, so that was my first meeting with him.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. No, I was with him.
It was Charlie Haas, swear to God.
I was with
Charlie
him.
Haas and Randy Savage.
I flew out to freaking Texas or something to buy a ring for Todd Gordon to use in the beginning of his company, because the guy that I was in Memphis with freaking had one. So I went out there, and on the way back, it was like Wednesday night, and I was right at like Louisville. So every Wednesday they were at like Louisville or Evansville, whichever one it was. Stopped into the bar. This is the first time I meet Kurt. Kurt fucking buys me a shot at the bar. As soon as I take the shot, he chopped the fuck out of me. And if like you're not expecting it, so that was the thing. The rest of the night I would do a shot, Kurt would fucking chop me.
Kurt Hennig?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Macho Man was there that night too. And never, his voice was always the same.
Always Macho.
Yeah, there was no such thing as like oh yeah, dig it, and hi, I'm Randy. Nice to meet you. He was always the Macho Man.
He was Macho
Yes.
Man.
Yes, and I thought that was crazy. But I dug it though, like character actors, you know what I'm saying? Like getting into your role.
Yeah,
He's-
like method acting.
He's
yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis over here, Macho Man in the bar.
Dude, I think was he the one that did Lincoln?
Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, just method actor. Yeah, absolutely. Up next was the Berserker. Any memories of the Berserker in the business conventions?
No, but he was big, dude.
He was.
That dude was as big as like Nash almost.
He is a big, big boy.
No lifters.
No lifters needed. Flair goes after Macho Man, and then Savage suplexed him back in because they were on the
17 eye
apron.
pokes later.
Yeah, Taker was choking Flair, and then Piper did some choking as well. Out came Virgil. Rest in peace, Virgil. Hack, any memories of Virgil?
No, just that he was always with Hogan. For some reason, they always had their black freaking guy there. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the way it was. And, but he was so like bicentennial. I can't say I've seen him like really recently, but every time he's at like a convention, dude, he's got some great pictures of him and Hogan and all the people Hogan knew and Sly and shit. I mean, I call them his bicentennial editions because they're so old and like the edges are like a little brown of them. You know what I mean? But he's still around, and you got to hand it to him for having a job.
He passed away. He's not still around, Hack, but rest in peace to Virgil.
No, I said I didn't know. I can't remember the last time I fucking saw him.
Okay, but when you said he's still around, I'm sorry for laughing. I'm laughing because Ali
It's
is.
okay, laugh at me. I don't give a fuck.
No, I don't want to disrespect.
I'm funny.
I know, but I don't want to disrespect the memory of Virgil's life, and Ollie's over here laughing. Stop.
Rest in peace, Virgil.
Rest in peace, Virgil.
Yeah, but he hasn't been dead too long, though. I guarantee I'm right about that.
I think it's within a year, maybe.
See?
Okay. Stop.
No, that gives me way more credibility, though.
It does.
Hack, it was 2001. I know. I was expecting Haas to be like, Hack, it was 2001.
He wouldn't have told me. He would have moved to the next thing.
Rest in peace, Virgil.
This is so bad.
Up next, another person that has sadly passed away, the Iron Sheik. Hack, any memories of Sheiky,
All
baby?
right, here we go. I think I told you guys this. It's me, the Sheik, Rock and Roll Express in Escanaba, Michigan, and just Cheeks coat smoking crack and just doing 500 deep knee bends, freaking, and like probably took him like a little over an hour, maybe. Wow, we're snorting, he's smoking crack, calling me a jabroni, saying, blowing it out, going, Sandman, you jabroni, get up here and do something with me. Dude, he was the only guy. I mean, he's the Sheik. He
He's
can call
the
me a jabroni.
He's the Sheik.
You know? Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can I light your pipe for you?
Oh my God.
And those like big like juggling things he used to swing around. Like,
Dude, that's how I knew when the first house me and Ty's mom were at. A dude had whittled out of wood miniature Sheik clubs, like they were like maybe 16 inches long. But we walked into the garage, I saw those two clubs, and I'm like, yeah, let's just move in here.
Okay. Up next on the show was Rick Martel coming out. And then now Martel is going after Flair because Martel has the record in the Rumble for longest endurance at this point. And I think now it's Gunther at like well over an hour. But at this point,
111, yeah.
Yeah, Martel had the record at this point, which Flair eclipses in this match. But it's cool how the Rumble has like these statistics that live on year after year.
That's for next show.
I like it. Virgil's going after Flair, and then Iron Sheik gets tossed pretty quickly. And then it's just Flair, Martel.
The Sheik don't want to be out there.
No.
Let me get paid, brother.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's it. In and out. And then out comes...
Somebody catch me on the floor, please.
out comes
That's
Hogan.
it.
Out comes Hogan to a huge pop. And at this point, Bobby Heenan is just losing his shit. He's having...
This is unfair to Flair.
This is unfair to Flair. And he's begging to the gods, and he promises to be a better person if Flair survives, which I just thought was great. It's just like such a line of horse shit. It's just great
Greatest thing ever, dude.
It really is. And he's going right after Flair. They're doing some brawling, like you said, a ton of eye pokes and everything. Hogan throws out Undertaker, and then he takes out Berserker, and then Duggan and Virgil go out, and then it's just a number of stars left. Out comes Skinner. Any memories of
Yes, what was his real
Steve
name?
Kern. Steve Kern.
That's it. He
Legend.
was an agent.
Yeah.
When I was in WWE, and he was the best agent there was. See, other agents are like trying to make themselves look good and stuff like that. Steve's like, yeah, what are you guys doing?
I love him. I have one of his books he wrote. It's all like the Florida stories. It's so cool to read this stuff. Steve Kern's an absolute legend in the business, man.
That's so great that this is coming up. And he tells me this story about the Skinner thing is a shoot.
He really wrestled gators?
No, he wasn't wrestling him. He had this thing called a bang stick. He said it was like, like 4 or
I got
5,
one of those.
5 feet long. And there would be a charge on the end of it. So if you watch like Swamp People now, the way they catch him with a chicken on a freaking on like the end of a big hook, but he would just go by in his boat and he would stick them on top of their head, and that would kill them, and then he'd just pull them on the boat.
Wow, down in the Everglades.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. So that's where the Skinner shoot. That was straight shoot. That was him.
Okay. I mean, it was a pretty interesting gimmick. I mean, it didn't really go much, but the guy was a hell of a worker in the 80s and everything. And
Thank
had
you, Steve.
so many great stories, too. How come I not let you borrow this book? Because it's really, really good stuff by Steve Kern. Flair's going after Martel still, and then Sergeant Slaughter comes out. Sergeant Slaughter, man, Hack. Any interactions with him on the Indies too? Because
No, only that at one point he was a guy that was giving out draws. A draw is every night you could go there and like people make. I don't even understand why you would get a draw if you're making fucking the money that you're making in that company. That just makes no sense to me.
you're talking WWE. At this point. Yeah.
Oh, everybody's making money there. You know what I mean? But the max you could get was like 200, unless you were somebody you could get more. But some guys would take draws every night.
Interesting.
What's a draw?
So 200 against your paycheck, like for money on the road.
Oh, okay.
But it was,
gotcha. I remember
but it
you
was
talking
more
about.
made for the olden days when guys weren't getting paid anything and needed gas to get to the next town.
So it's kind of like a stipend.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly for that. Yeah, but then I'm like, dude, you making how much are you making here? And you're still getting a draw. But some guys were like, that's the way I've always done it.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? That they did their books like that too and stuff.
I love Slaughter. I think Slaughter's one of like a truly underrated worker. The bumps that he would take, the corner bump he would take.
Dude, he got
Yo!
slingshot. I was like,
That
yo.
was insane.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
But he would do that every match.
I know. He'd do
And
it every
gig off
match.
of it, and still, back in the day, he would do that during a match, get color, and then go back in and still work.
Yeah, I think it was.
That's how
I think
he
it was.
would get color.
I think it was Sid that shot him in on this one, and I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah, the
Sid
shit's probably
Justice.
pulling a little hard.
If you guys have never seen it, please go back and watch
What a bump.
Slaughter and Pat Patterson boot camp matches from MSG.
Oh, wow, yeah, there you go.
Dude, and a loaded boot too, Ollie. There's a loaded boot finish in there.
Oh, shit.
You would love this
Fun,
match, man.
fun for all the family.
Yeah, fun for all the nice loaded boot with Slaughter and Iron Cheek and Patterson. Some really good stuff there. Up next was Sid Justice. So Flair at this point, he's past the longevity record. Sid at this point left WCW. He's not Sid Vicious. He's Sid Justice. And the interesting thing about this Rumble '92 is the finish. A lot of ways too, because I've heard.
Oh, the finish is so horrible.
We'll get to the finish
With
too.
the
'cause
hands.
Haas has been talking about the finish for 20 years.
For
I think.
20 years, Hack, this has been a big thing for my
just
life.
like Pat don't like John Cena.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Sid Justice. Sid goes to WWF, and you think like, okay, he's the younger, better version of what Hogan could be. He's got hair. He's huge. No, but seriously, Hogan's on the way down at this point, and Sid is like, oh my God, you see dollar signs in this guy, and within a year he's out of the company already. Like, it's just because he was Sid, and like we talked about it last week when we did the show. A lot of times Sid was just like, nah, I want to go play softball. Nah, I want to do this. And he just kept getting opportunities in wrestling because of his look and his aura. And he could have the ability to tell people, even Vince, nah, I don't want to do that, I'm out, or whatever. Like, and he bounced around, and it's one of the cool things about Sid is that, you know, he wasn't really tied down to one place or anything. And
I mean, you give him credit. He did what he wanted to do.
he did what he wanted to do, man.
Like,
Yeah, but he wasn't the kind of guy like a Dr. Death or something like that could really go make his money over in Japan. That wasn't Sid.
Well,
Sid
couldn't
Sid was supposedly a big puss.
Okay.
Because the fight between him and Arn with the
Yeah.
scissors or
And
something
him and
like
Pillman.
that.
Him and Pillman, too.
Yeah, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, so supposedly Sid was this big puss. I don't know, but that's what the word was amongst the boys.
Yeah. Number 30 comes in is Warlord, man. Warlord was huge, too. These guys.
Think about all the dudes that are like 6'4", 6'5", 350 that are in this Rumble.
Right.
There ain't fucking that many dudes that size
In
in,
the business.
AEW and WWE.
Right.
And freaking all new.
Yeah. different business back then.
I know, it's crazy. It's a 100-pound difference.
Slaughter takes the bump that you talked about. He's out. Piper threw IRS and pulled him out by the tie. He was out. And then Warlord...
That was good.
The tie toss was good.
It took a little bit more time than I would have liked it.
Warlord got tossed by Hogan. And then Piper and Martel were on the ropes. This was a little too choreographed. Sid throws them out. And we got a Final Four that I think stands up at any Final Four in Rumble history. You have Sid, Savage, Hogan, and Flair. I mean, you want to talk about star power in a ring for a Rumble Final Four. This is as good as it gets, I think.
And you can feel it with the crowd, and the crowd knew it too.
Right.
They knew the respect of that situation.
Right. And one of the things I like about this Rumble is that it does set up a lot for the Mania card a couple months later. And this match sets up Sid and Hogan and Flair and Savage at Mania. Flair throws Savage out with a high knee in the back, and then he's slugging it out with Hogan. And then Sid throws out Hogan while Hogan was turned his back. And then Hogan was bitching and crying and complaining on the floor to the refs. And then he just grabs...
Tell us how you really feel.
He grabs Sid's arm, and then Flair dumps Sid to win the Rumble. And then this finish was insane. And apparently what you watch on the network was a dubbed version of this. The crowd actually was cheering when Sid threw Hogan out. And Sid apparently was very upset with Hogan because Hogan in the back, Sid, I saw an interview with him years ago where said Hogan was carrying on like a woman backstage based on the reaction. And he thought Vince double-crossed him with the booking to make him look weak. And it's just a weird finish to me.
Hogan's supposed to see this at this point. He's been in the business over a decade on top.
Right.
You're supposed to see this shit. There's no reason for crying over spilled milk after it happened.
Right.
Because he would take care of it before it happened if he was smart enough to see it.
Right. And when I'm looking at this now, the finish of this, I'm like, wait, why would... And this is... I tweeted at Hulk Hogan years ago, and I got blocked by him on Twitter. This is a true story, Hack. Hogan blocked me.
That's freaking great. He blocked you.
He blocked me.
It's great that you fucking tweeted him, but it's even greater that you got blocked.
I tweeted at him and I said, why did a face you cheat to eliminate a heel Sid in the 92 Rumble? That's all I tweeted at him.
How long ago?
Over a decade ago.
Okay.
He blocked me on Twitter for this. Okay? And then I tweeted at Dave Meltzer for years, and he never answered me. And so I finally tweeted at Sid Vicious. Instagram DM'd Sid Vicious. And I said, Sid, I have a question to ask you. Why did a face Hogan cheat to eliminate a heel you in the 92 Rumble? And he got back to me and he said, because sometimes a good guy isn't a good guy. And I was like, man, that's profound, Sid. Thank you, my friend.
They're good guys. They're good guys. They are.
Okay.
They're just not.
But I love that Sid answered my question before he passed.
I know, but this is what I'm thinking. Think about the sheer number of it. Like, Hogan had to have 1 million followers, right?
Right.
And he picked your fucking, and he responds to your one comment. That's crazy.
Right.
To block me.
That's fucking insane.
It means he's still not over this.
Right.
He's a loser.
Yeah, right.
So Hogan,
Dude, what do you just sit there all... I mean, you got 1 million fucking followers. That guy must have 10,000 messages fucking a day.
right.
Easily.
And he blocked me over it. That coward, Hogan. I'm coming down to the beach shop in Tampa and giving you a piece of my mind one day.
You know
Hogan.
something, brother?
Yeah, I'll tell you something, brother. But anyway,
I want to film that.
Flair wins the Rumble, and then afterwards is maybe one of the greatest promos in WWF history. Ric Flair says, with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest night of my life. He's celebrating backstage with Bobby Heenan and Kurt Hennig, and they have the great line of, we hate to say we told you so, but we told you so. And then Mean Gene's yelling at somebody off camera for smoking
Yeah, I don't know
cigarettes.
what
Put that cigarette out.
Put that cigarette out.
I'm like, was I there?
That was the Royal Rumble. Listen, this is an all-time Rumble. Obviously, if you watch
I mean,
this,
Flair's performance is,
and Bobby Heenan's performance.
even though it's redundant and you see the same thing kind of over and over again, but
It's great.
Flair and Heenan make it for sure.
It's a Rumble. For a Rumble, to me, this is a 5-star Rumble. Ollie, I got to hear your star rating. This is what we're all here for.
I'll give it 3.
Reluctant 3.
I'll give it a reluctant 3
that's
because
like a
Flair
2.
carried it.
Hack.
Yeah, it can't be, to me, it can't, I'm not sure exactly where I'm at right now, but it can't be less than a 3 just because the sheer star power.
Right.
that was there. You know what I'm saying? But the fucking 64 fucking high rakes brings it down to like a 2.5.
Okay. Ty.
Oh man, I know it's so hard to like, I guess, scale it out on Rumbles because I'm like, with the
Yeah, but since we've had people, we've already seen the Royal Rumble from this year, but our taping's screwed up. So, like, from that Rumble to this Rumble,
yeah, I hear
you
what
gotta
you're
consider that.
Yeah, then I'll give it 2 face licks.
2 face licks. So that was the 1992 Royal Rumble. Definitely let us know what you thought of the show if you guys watched it. I think it's an all-time great classic WWF Rumble. So, as always, send in listener questions to sandmanpod@gmail.com. We do have a lot in the inbox this week, so I'm going to try to split these up over the next 2 episodes.
Heard that before.
Well, it's true. It's true. Heck, we got a lot in this inbox, man.
Oh, it's true.
It's damn true. Hold on a second here. We're still getting this pulled up. Sorry here, guys. Dear Hack, my name is Harpo, and I'm from Sacramento, California.
All right, Harpo Marks.
Sacramento.
I have a Philly sports question for you.
Dude, Harpo, just next time, dude, are you like 89 years old? Because I don't understand why you have the name Harpo. Just saying.
Okay.
Does anybody know somebody named Harpo?
Oprah? I
No, it
believe.
could be a nickname, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's the name of her production company or whatever.
I believe it's her actual name on her birth certificate, too.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
I know, but why would you change it to Winfrey instead of freaking that? That don't make sense.
Winfrey's her last name. Oprah's her first name.
Yeah. Who's your all-time favorite 76er?
Easily Dr. J.
Dr. J. That, like, meant something when they got him, finally?
Dude, that's when I started paying attention. Because believe it or not, freaking Philadelphia, we were a Flyers town because the Flyers were just coming off the back-to-back Stanley Cups. The Sixers ain't done a goddamn thing freaking since, like, Wilt Chamberlain had left them. You know what I mean? So it was more of a hockey town than it was a basketball town until Julius came in 76.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm surprised you didn't say, like, Derek Coleman or somebody.
Do you even know who Derek Coleman is?
Yeah, back in the day.
Coleman, yeah. Also, can you please make Tosh do his Dikembe Mutombo impression on the show? We're not doing the Dikembe.
No.
Who wants to sex Mutombo? Uncle Howard and I look forward to seeing you next month when you're out here doing an appearance. Thanks for making
Where
wrestling
is
awesome.
that?
Out in Sacramento.
You said Sacramento.
Yeah.
So you're doing an appearance out there that way?
Yeah, just make sure you're
you
at
don't
the
I know
air.
going to LA, I just didn't know.
Just make sure you're
there.
there, the right day. You're at the airport the right,
Yes, I've showed up to the airport the wrong day
Okay.
last year.
Yeah, and was gone to the lady. She said, sir, your flight's tomorrow.
There's nothing better.
Funniest thing ever.
Hey, Sandbaggers, it's Josh from Braintree checking in. I know one of you saw this on Twitter, but Tom from WCW Deep Cut said Warrior was talking to Paul Heyman about coming to ECW.
Yeah, I heard that bullshit. No, ain't happening.
It was said he was going to feud with Taz and even challenge him to a shoot when plans fell through, as they do with Warrior. I know you weren't there, Hack, but what do you think of the possibility of Warrior coming in ECW in 99 and working Taz?
0.
Okay. Do you think he could take him in a shoot?
Who?
Warrior and Taz. Who do you got in a shoot?
Yeah, what are you kidding me?
Who do you got?
Warrior.
You got Warrior.
Yeah, I would have to take him.
And did you ever have any interactions?
I don't even know this dude, but I would have to take him.
Just out of principle alone.
Yeah.
Do you have any interactions with Warrior ever? Anything? Nothing?
Never. Nothing.
Okay. Keep it up, boys. 100% agree. Ohio sucks. I'd rather live in a straw hut in Zimbabwe than ever step foot in that bland strip mall hell. Wow, Josh coming after Ohio. Damn. All right. Coming after Ohio. I like it. I know.
Dude, they got it easy over there unless you're trying to get killed by the new rogue gang.
Up next is Philip
Looking for diamonds.
Bruno. First off, I'm a big fan. One thing I feel is overlooked is your entrepreneurial and business mindset, not to mention how you marketed yourself and built your brand. After all, you did live the majority of your career as a self-built individual and did it with ups and downs. I want to say thank you for your work over the years, and you are one of my favorite wrestlers in pro wrestling history. I have to ask, if you had one moment in your career that you would say defined everything, what would it be?
There isn't one.
No, there isn't one.
There isn't one. There's not one match. There's not 1 second. It's a compilation.
Okay. Up next is Bob from Broomall. Hack and Seeds, and the best big man in the podcast game. I'd like to start by saying, fuck you, Kevin Dayton, Ohio, bitch.
Yeah, get him, Bob.
Yeah, thank you, Bob.
Hey, Bobby.
You guys had me cracking up laughing at talking about Tommy Dreamer. It was an innovator of violence, but certainly not offense. Good point.
Fucking loser, the fat loser.
Who do you guys like as far as innovation is considered? I'm a big Amazing Red guy, and I think a lot of the business now has fingerprints over it. And I would like to say the Taj mission actually works. One time when I was bouncing, there was a little bit of a melee, and I slapped that bad boy on, and he dropped. So
Well,
that's
because I was talking about the Hajime not working last time.
yeah, so Bob's actually saying it does work. Innovators.
I go, if you cinch it in on a 12-year-old kid, yeah, you're gonna knock him out. I have to agree with that.
That doesn't include your wife, Bob, all right? So, yeah.
Who do you have as an innovative guy for moves, Hack, in the business?
It's almost past that now. It's like
Sabu's always been the most innovative for me.
RVD,
For my...
Hayabusa.
I thought we were doing like right now.
Hayabusa.
I mean, I guess you
like,
could say...
Well, yeah, to me it'd probably be Hayabusa because Hayabusa created Sabu.
right. So I don't know. Anybody come to mind, Ollie? Innovative guys?
He gave Amazing Red, which is a good one.
I would say Rey Mysterio probably.
Great call.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The stuff him and Hoovy and Psychosis were doing back in the day, absolutely.
Okay.
No, but not to like. Probably innovative to the Americans at least.
Yeah, I agree with your statement way more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
they were doing that shit in
doing
Mexico.
anything new that anybody
Right.
who was Mexican wrestling would have seen, but.
Yeah. That's it for this week's listener questions. Next week on the show, we are covering the 2025 Royal Rumble. But before we go, Hack, Cane of the Week and the Toast of the Week.
Whoever's fault it was for the accident, the airplane accident, and Sikorsky helicopter, they're getting the cane of the week. And I got to put over the first responders that are just diving into freezing water to save people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, wow.
Tragic accident there in D.C. But, yeah, I hear you. Guys, like, share, review. Catch us next week for the 2025 Royal Rumble.
Peace.
Ain't it foggy outside?